to do the things most people already know how to do. How to give a high five. Step 1. Locate a friend. Step 2. Both partners raise a hand. Step 3. Bend your elbow. Step 4. Propel palm of hand towards the other person in an upward motion. Congratulations! You have now successfully given a high five. How to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Step 1. Obtain 2 pieces of bread. Step 2. Grab the peanut butter, jelly, and 2 knives. Step 3. Spread peanut butter on 1 slice of bread using a knife. Step 4. Using a different knife, spread jelly on the other side of bread. Step 5. Press the 2 slices together, mixing the peanut butter and jelly. Step 6. Enjoy a delicious snack. I bet that tastes good. How to bring a person back to life. Step 1. You can't.
Hey, it's Eric. So, that was an interesting video, am I right? Now, how many of you know how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? Yummy. Well, the guys in the video were able to do pretty much everything they were taught. But the truth is, God gives us the ability to learn how to do many different things. But there was one thing in that video that they couldn't learn how to do. They couldn't bring a person back to life. None of us can with our own power. But do you know who does have the power to bring somebody back to life? Yes, Jesus does. Because Jesus has power over death. Now, if you've been with us at all during the Miraculous series, you probably remember that we've been taking a look at God's incredible power shown through these events called miracles. So, a miracle is when God's power makes something happen that would be impossible without His power. And today, we look at a miraculous moment when one of Jesus' friends got sick and died, and then Jesus, well, hold on. I don't want to spoil the ending. Take a look at this.
Stories of the Bible. Jesus raises Lazarus from the dead. This is Jesus.
Heyo!
Jesus had a friend named Lazarus who was very sick. He had 2 sisters named Mary
That's okay.
and Martha,
Here you go.
who sent a message to Jesus telling him, "Lord, your dear friend is very sick."
So come on!
But when Jesus heard about it, he said, "Lazarus' sickness will not end in death. No, it happened for the glory of God."
What?
So although Jesus loved Martha, Mary, and Lazarus, he stayed where he was for the next 2 days.
Alright, let's go!
Finally, he said to his disciples, "Let's go back to Judea."
Are you sure?
But his disciples did not think this was a good idea because the people in Judea had tried to kill Jesus. But Jesus told them they were going anyway. He said, "Our friend Lazarus has fallen asleep, but now I will go and wake him up."
He'll be okay.
The disciples thought Jesus meant Lazarus was simply sleeping. So Jesus told them plainly, "Lazarus is dead.
What?
And for your sakes, I'm glad I wasn't there. For now you will really believe. Come, let's go see him." Thomas said to his fellow disciples, "Let's go too and die with Jesus." When Jesus arrived at Bethany, He was told that Lazarus had already been in his grave for 4 days. Many people had come to be with Mary and Martha because their brother had died. When Martha got word that Jesus was coming, she went to meet him. Martha said to Jesus, "Lord, if only you had been here, my brother would not have died. But even now I know that God will give you whatever you ask." Jesus told her, "Your brother will rise again." "Yes," Martha said, "he will rise when everyone else rises at the last day." Jesus told her, "I am the resurrection and the life. Anyone who believes in me will live even after dying." "Do you believe this, Martha?" "Yes, Lord," she told him. "I have always believed you are the Messiah, the Son of God." Then she returned to Mary. She told Mary, "The teacher is here and wants to see you." So Mary immediately went to him. When the people who were at the house consoling Mary saw her leave so hastily, they assumed she was going to Lazarus's grave to weep.
Oh, let's go too.
So they followed her there. When Mary arrived and saw Jesus, she said, "Lord, if only you had been here, my brother would not have died." When Jesus saw her weeping and saw the other people wailing with her, a deep anger welled up within him. "Where have you put him?" he asked them. They told him, "Lord, come and see." Then Jesus wept. The people who were standing nearby said, "See how much he loved him?" But some said, "This man healed a blind man. Couldn't he have kept Lazarus from dying?" Jesus was still angry and he arrived at the tomb. "Roll the stone aside," Jesus told them.
Wait, hold on, Jesus.
But Martha protested, "Lord, he has been dead for 4 days. The smell will be terrible." Jesus said, "Didn't I tell you that you would see God's glory if you believe?"
Go ahead.
So they rolled the stone aside. Then Jesus said, "Father, thank you for hearing me. You always hear me, but I said it out loud for the sake of all these people standing here, so they will believe you sent me." Then Jesus shouted, "Lazarus, come out!" And Lazarus came out, his hands, feet, and head wrapped in cloth.
Hello?
Jesus told them, "Unwrap him and let him go."
Wahoo!
Many of the Jews who were there believed in Jesus, for he had raised Lazarus from the dead.
You guys, that really happened. Jesus brought Lazarus back to life. But how is that even possible? Because Jesus has power over death. Say it with me, okay? Jesus has power over death. Now, when Jesus was told about Lazarus being sick, he didn't leave right away to go to his friend, did he? But why didn't Jesus act immediately? Jesus could have acted sooner, but instead, by allowing Lazarus to die first and then bringing him back to life, it was an even more powerful example to show that God's timing and plan is always best. When Jesus eventually made his way to the place where Lazarus had died, he had this very interesting conversation with Martha, one of Lazarus' sisters. It goes like this. Martha said to Jesus, "Lord, if only you had been here, my brother would not have died. But even now I know that God will give you whatever you ask." And Jesus told her, "Your brother will rise again." "Yes," Martha said, "he will rise when everyone else rises at the last day." But Jesus told her, "I am the resurrection and the life. Anyone who believes in me will live even after dying. Everyone who lives in me and believes in me will never ever die." "Do you believe this, Martha?" "Yes, Lord," she told him. "I have always believed you are the Messiah, the Son of God, the one who has come into the world from God." That's found in John 11, verses 21 through 27. Whoa, think about that. Jesus made a very powerful statement when he said that he is the resurrection and the life. The power over death, the power to live, is part of who Jesus is. And anyone who believes in Jesus and follows him as his disciple gets to have eternal life with him. Which means, even though we eventually die here on earth, Christ followers get to spend forever and ever with Jesus in heaven. See, Martha understood and believed that, but I think she wasn't quite ready for what Jesus did next. Jesus, Mary, Martha, and some other people who were grieving the death of Lazarus arrived outside his tomb. There was a large stone covering the entrance. "Roll the stone aside," Jesus told them. But Martha protested, "Lord, he has been dead for 4 days. The smell will be terrible." And Jesus responded, "Didn't I tell you that you would see God's glory if you believe?" So they rolled the stone aside. And then, after Jesus prayed to God the Father, he shouted, "Lazarus, come out!" And what did Lazarus do? Yeah, he came out, still wrapped in his burial clothes and everything. It was a miracle. Lazarus came back to life because Jesus has power over death. You know, when I talk about Lazarus, I can't help but think about Jesus' own death, burial, and resurrection. Lazarus died and was buried in a tomb. Then Jesus brought him back to life, and Lazarus walked out of the grave. And as we'll find out in a couple of weeks, Jesus died, was buried in a tomb, and also resurrected back to life. The key difference is that, well, Lazarus could not bring himself back to life. Only God's power can do that. And, well, that's why Jesus himself was able to be resurrected back to life. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I just get so excited about this. Okay. Calm. Remember, Jesus has power over death. Help me say that again. Jesus has power over death. The fact that Jesus has power over death and can do amazing miracles is an important truth that we should be telling others about. Because when other people believe in Jesus and they choose to follow him, then one day they will get to spend eternity in heaven with God. That's good news indeed. So, pass it on. I'll see you next time, all right?